But the piece came from the Wall Street Journal, and the title was this. I mean, the timing is obvious because college football starts this weekend, which is just weird to me, but it starts this weekend. And the title is, College Football Can Get a Little Better, Here's How. It wasn't very well done. But I'm going to cut them and the writer some slack because it's the Wall Street Journal, and college football is kind of a NASCAR sport. The suggestions were made, and here were the suggestions. I think there were three. I think there were only three of them. It was, I think it was kind of tongue in cheek, the entire article. Again, because Wall Street Journal readers are not typically Southern college football fans, which is pretty much a NASCAR fan. So I don't think there's much connection there between the Wall Street Journal and college football. It makes perfect sense. The NFL is a different game altogether. But the suggestions in order to make college football better, because I'm going to tear this to shreds. So here we go. In order, they were more neutral site games, fewer night games, and faster games. Okay, here I go. My take on that is neutral site, no. Why? Why? Fewer night games, no. That's unhealthy. It's 100 degrees, 105 in a lot of places where college football matters most. Actually, there should be more night games in college football. And then the final point was faster games. And the answer back is, now hear me on this, the answer back is yes, absolutely, but not just faster. They need to flow better. And I can explain that. So am I completely dismissing the entire piece? Yeah, pretty much. I think I can do better. Give me a chance. He writes for the Wall Street Journal, and again, I'm giving the writer and the Journal a pass because it's not exactly the Journal is not exactly, for the most part, the must-read for college football fans. College football is kind of a NASCAR-like thing. It is the most passionate fans, the most passionate fan bases are by far in the South. The game is largely a Southern sport at its most passionate level. So in places, for the most part, where the NFL is little competition or non-existent entirely. So, the Journal isn't writing to college football fans for the most part. I get that. So I'm okay with this. But I think for those that are fans, I think I've got a lot better fixes than that. Really detailed fixes. Almost nerdy fixes, but please give me a chance. The game needs fixing. The premise is exactly right. It needs fixing. It needs an absolute overhaul. A complete overhaul. So, now, the defense of college football, I come at it this way. People now, because the NFL is so popular, the NFL is such a great product. It is executed perfectly on TV. The NFL is and always has been a made-for-TV sport. The owners, to their credit, unlike the people that run college football, the owners of the NFL know exactly what's most important, and that is a TV audience, because most of the money is made by TV rights. And so they are forward-thinking, and they will tinker with any aspect of professional football to make it a better game on TV. They will give you, the fan, watching on TV, exactly what you want. They are so into the product delivered, it's really admirable. And I mean, for the most part, these owners are kind of, they're rich, kind of slimy old guys, but they know this much. All that matters is that TV audience, and they tinker with their product whenever they need to make it right. College football does exactly the opposite. It has blown off the TV audience. It is completely disconnected from the TV audience. The college game is not very good, and it certainly doesn't flow very well. But you watch a college game, if you're someone who's watched a lot of the NFL, then you watch a college game, it's not a fair comparison. It's really not. The college product is inferior. I know that makes a lot of people mad that are college fans, but it's an inferior product. It's not as good on TV as the NFL. It's also the product itself is greatly inferior. Now, I'm not saying people don't dig it and you love the game, but understand this. The worst NFL team, the Cardinals. The worst NFL team, I think the Cardinals might not win a game this year. They could beat the best college team by 50 or more points. They could name their score. The worst NFL team could name their score against the best college team. So, all right, now, how to improve the game? See if you agree with this. It is. I can just do this off the top of my head, and it's going to be detailed. But tell me where I'm wrong about this. Tell me these are simple changes that the sport of college football could easily implement. I mean, it can be done right away. And I think everyone would be better for it. All right, so I'll go. I don't know that they're not in particular order because of importance, because I think they all apply and they all should be done. Number one is the Journal said fewer night games. That's just stupid. More night games. Of course. I mean, yes. Number two, appoint a college football commissioner and a board of 5 members. They are the decision makers for the sport. Why, Jeff? Because no one else will make any decisions. That's why. Because university presidents don't do anything. Athletic directors only do what the coaches want to do. And the sport is misguided and disconnected from its audience. It is the opposite of the NFL. Appoint a commissioner and 5 board members. They decide. Number 3, it should be 4 leagues broken up into 4 regions. We're doing just the opposite now. And I don't think once we head down this path of these 4 leagues, these super conferences, Big 12, Big 20 or whatever it's going to be, whatever the names are, we're doing just the opposite of what I'm suggesting. It's a mistake. 4 leagues broken up into 4 regions. You then let the bidding begin from the media companies. Number 4, regional rivalries remain always. If there's a question, if a game qualifies as a regional rivalry, the board will decide which games to keep in place. Period. No questions asked. Do not let coaches run things. Don't do it. They don't run the NFL. They shouldn't run the college game, and they do. That's why it looks the way it does. That's why they have cream puff games that suck for the fans. Do not let the coaches call the shots. The board will decide this, and you're going to play the rivalries. You're going to play them every single year, period. Shut your mouth, show up and play. Understand where I'm going with all of this. The entire perspective should be about the viewer and the audience. The perspective should not be about coaches or ADs. We're removing them. So keep the regional rivalries. I know people are going to debate that. If it's debated, let the board decide it. It's 5 members, vote, done. A larger playoff field. Number 5, playoffs should be more. Should be more than 16. Done. People like playoffs, have more playoffs. Number 6, reduce the schedule to only 1 or 2 non-conference games. And if 1 or 2 of those non-conference games happens to be an out-of-conference rivalry, it stays. Done. My rule would be a board would say, a commissioner would say, stop with the directional schools. Stop with the sending out a check just to beat somebody by 70. The only reason why that happens is coaches like to pad their numbers. No. So, for example, if it's USC and Notre Dame, each of them, that's one of their non-conference games. It stays. Number 7, this is such a no-brainer. This is such a no-brainer. There's almost nothing more infuriating about the college game than to see a guy going deep for a pass and absolutely get mauled, hit with an axe, and it's only a 15-yard penalty. Number 7, adopt the NFL interference rule. The ball is placed where the infraction occurs, period. Shut up, coaches. Spot the ball. Let's go. Number 8, adopt the NFL overtime rules. The exception The NFL can end in a tie. The argument for an NFL game ending in a tie is, hey, look, we got 54-man rosters. It's too much. The Players Association argued against it. I could go either way with a college game. Given the fact that you've got 80-plus players, I don't think it's too much to ask that the game not end in a tie, but if somebody wants to argue for player safety reasons, then you have 2 overtimes and a tie. Okay, fair enough. I'm just saying stop this garbage of spotting the ball at the 25 and then some kind of convoluted way of alternating out. Play it like the NFL overtime rule, period, end of story. They have the template set for you. Do that. 9. What is this? 9? Oh, yeah, this. A player is only down by contact. Got it? The knee on the ground and you're down is a stupid and terrible rule. It's not interesting and it's not entertaining and it's punishing the offense. Stop it. You're only down by contact. 10. The clock does not stop on first downs. Stop doing that. It's infuriating. I can wrap a bunch of this around. It's not so much that the games take a long time, even though they do. They do. But the problem with following you watch an NFL game, most of them just flow very easily. And college coaches like to say, well, don't you want more snaps? Let me ask you, you don't think the NFL is entertaining enough, really? It looks to me like they get enough snaps. So the difference between the two is that one of them flows. I know the quality is better, but it flows better. And one of the things that makes these college games feel, although really they are longer, feel much longer is the fact that the clock stops all the freaking time. Stop it on first downs. No more. No more. You spot the ball, it starts running. The only time the clock will stop, other than calling a timeout, incompletions, out of bounds. Got it? Make the game flow better. The players will play better if it flows better. Let's see, 11. Extra points are kicked from the 20 for 1 point and spotted at the 3 for 2. If you'll notice, well, Jeff, you're making this much more like the NFL. That's correct. Yes. It's a good idea. NFL spots it at the 25, so I'm saying the 20. Are they going to miss a bunch? Yeah, they are. So, makes it more interesting. 12. Oh, gosh, yeah. Move the hash marks to the middle, my God. It's like 1970 and you're running the veer or something. Move the hash marks to the middle of the field. Well, why would that make a difference? Because it basically gives you more room. Keep the ball in the middle of the field all the time. It balances the field out, of course. And it makes the defense know a little less. There is no reason to have these wide hash marks from the 60s and 70s or 50s. Put the hash marks in the middle of the field, just like the NFL. I bet you a lot of coaches would agree with that, too. I'd be surprised if they had not advocated for that themselves. 13, allow teams... I know this is going to sound like I'm advocating a preseason game, and I'm sort of advocating a preseason game. I think college programs should be able to have 2 scrimmages against someone else. They don't have to be structured like a game, but one of the problems early in the season in college football is they just haven't played enough. The NFL doesn't have that problem. You know why? Because the preseason games are dumb. The preseason games in the NFL only exist because it makes the owners a little extra money. But otherwise, the NFL has been doing this for some time, and they will practice against other teams. Colleges should do the same. Now, what if nobody's nearby? Okay, then nobody's nearby. But it shouldn't stop 2 programs that are near each other from getting together the coaches don't want to get people hurt. It's not out to hurt each other. They want situational scrimmage. And you should do it. The game would be better for it. Because they're not able to duplicate that right now. That's why early season games just suck. So allow them 2, right? 1 or 2. I think it makes perfect sense. Number 14, hate me all you want. The halftime needs to be shortened. It needs to be 10 minutes. I'm sorry. It takes forever. It's like high school and the homecoming ceremony. Remember that game? You're in the locker room like an hour and a half. Sorry. 10 minutes. The NFL does that. Got it? The NFL goes in, you get something, and you go back out. The idea that there's these halftime adjustments, all these detailed adjustments, is BS. They're not adjusting anything. So, sorry. Sorry, band. Have it before game, after game. I don't know. But the halftime should be 10 minutes. Number 15, please do this. Please do it soon. Please do not review every single play. Don't. It's not making it better. It's not making it better. It's making it a lot worse. It's what's ruining the flow. Notice what I'm trying to do here is I'm trying to eliminate the stops and get these games going, right? Not just because of speed, just because of the flow of the game. It is infuriating to see every stoppage and some dude is running over to stare at some camera and you're wondering why and how in the world could this can take so long. Stop reviewing every play. Allow 2 challenges by coaches per half. An incorrect challenge leads to the loss of a timeout. It works pretty well for the NFL. Do the same thing. The review people, one, I don't know what's wrong. I think you could go get a 6-pack of beer and go to the RTF department of most schools in the country and say, hey, would you guys develop a better review system than these old guys? And I bet you they could come up with it. I bet the whole thing would flow pretty quickly. I don't know why it's so antiquated. I don't know who had the idea that you have to be Joe Biden's age to be reviewing plays, but it's not working well. Structurally, it's not working well, and then the execution of it doesn't work well at all because every 30 seconds, somebody's running over to take a look at something that doesn't really matter. So, one, do it better. If that's not possible, then you've got to turn to a logical explanation. That is, you only review what the coach challenges. 16. Or was that 16? Yeah, that. You've got to improve the review process. You've got to. Whoever's inventing this review process, you need out of this. Like I said, let's walk around campus and talk to some people and say, hey, surely you can come up with a better way, and I'll bet you they can. So there. That's it. The game is better. The product is better to watch. And you know what? Everything I just suggested that I think a lot of people would agree with, I think that, again, you want to watch a good game. The coaches want to be involved in a good game. Everything, 16 points, 17? I don't even know. Everything I just suggested, the college game will do none of them. None. My list of 16 or 17, it will be 0 for 16. The current college game, the immediate future of the college game, they will not do any of the things I've just suggested.